Hello everyone and welcome to our Technology Focused channel. We delve into unique topics that intrigue curious minds like yours. Today, for instance, we'll be delving into aircraft carriers. But not just any aircraft carrier. Stick with us until the end of the video to discover what makes it so special. Let's get started. An aircraft carrier, by definition, is a warship whose primary function is to transport and deploy fighter aircraft. It essentially serves as a floating airbase, providing crucial mobility for the deployment of an offensive and autonomous air force worldwide. This mobility allows it to navigate international waters without being tied to specific territorial sovereignty, making it a crucial strategic tool often utilized without diplomatic constraints. These platforms are like complete cities in themselves. Indeed, aircraft carriers are bustling hubs where you can find a multitude of electronic equipment, in addition to an impressive fleet of naval combat aircraft and helicopters. This easily explains why their maintenance is so costly. Warships must have a certain length and specific width to allow aircraft to take off and land safely on the deck. These vessels also boast formidable firepower. They can store missiles, primarily used against other enemy ships, or even submarines deemed hostile, often accompanied by other ships ensuring their protection, such as cruisers, anti-aircraft frigates, and nuclear attack submarines. These aircraft carriers constitute a formidable naval force. But what exactly defines a ship as an aircraft carrier? The structure of an aircraft carrier is unique. It consists firstly of a flight deck, which allows aircraft to take off and land on the ship. Next, there is an island located on the side of the flight deck, which serves as the ship's control tower. Elevators are also present to move aircraft between the decks and hangars. Beneath the decks, there are storage and maintenance hangars for aircraft, as well as fuel and ammunition stores. The crew is housed below deck, while on the deck are catapults, which allow aircraft to accelerate for takeoff, as well as arresting gear, which are literally the landing brakes for aircraft during landing. The platform is also equipped with a crew of specially trained sailors. Those on deck are tasked with directing the ship through the decision-making center, also known as the navigation bridge. In the engine room, there is personnel responsible for the expedition and execution of orders from the bridge. Other crew members are responsible for piloting aircraft and their maintenance. Among them are pilots, mechanics, and technicians responsible for takeoff and landing. You're probably wondering how it all began. Well, it's a fascinating story. It all started with the Wright brothers in 1903. Of course, one could say they simply took off in the first airplane. But quickly, this new way of traveling caught the interest of the American military. In fact, it was the military itself that suggested using an airplane to take off from a ship. The first successful attempt was made by the American Eugene Lee on November 14, 1910, using the warship Birmingham. Following this test, the first true aircraft carrier built was the Argus. It was equipped with two elevators, used to raise and lower aircraft from the deck. It was truly during World War I that their utility was fully put to the test. The battles in the Pacific pitted the Americans against the Japanese, and to this day, they are the only battles where aircraft carriers from different countries have clashed. Moreover, according to James, an intelligence military ranking agency, the United States leads in terms of active aircraft carriers. They are closely followed by China, the United Kingdom, Russia, France, Italy, India, and Thailand. But the United States isn't just leading in terms of quantity. They also stand out with their giant aircraft carrier, the U.S. Gerald R. Ford, measuring no less than 330.2 meters in length and 40.8 meters in width. It weighs over 100,000 tons. The US Ford easily ranks as the largest aircraft carrier in the world. It can accommodate up to 75 aircraft and helicopters, more commonly known as the US Ford. It's also the most expensive aircraft carrier in history, costing the Pentagon just over $13.02 billion, or roughly 10 billion euros. Named in honor of the 38th President of the United States. The US Ford is a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the first version of the Ford class, set to gradually replace the Nimitz class starting in 2020. It notably hosted the renowned 30 Fight, a naval variant of the American multirole fighter, for sea trials, adding approximately $800 million to the total project cost. During his inauguration speech, the then President of the United States, Donald Trump, mentioned the US Ford. However, his remarks weren't limited to compliments. Although he arrived at his inauguration, and even landed on the deck aboard Marine One, he didn't hesitate to criticize the aircraft carrier. Among other things, he raised concerns about funding and delivery delays. Indeed, the US Ford ended up costing $20 more than expected, with a total program cost of $40.02 billion, encompassing the study and delivery of the first 3 versions of the Navy's order. However, if the US Ford accumulated over 2 years of delay, this is largely due to the integration of numerous new technologies into this new class of aircraft carriers. Among these are fiber optics and electromagnetic catapult systems for aircraft. Thanks to its thoughtful design, it features a smaller command island, thus leaving more space on the decks and facilitating air operations. On board the ship, there are several kitchens, tasked with producing approximately 15,000 meals per day to feed the 4,660 passengers who are constantly on board. Due to the design of the Ford class, the ship employs 500 fewer people than the Nimitz-class aircraft carrier. Of course, the ship must also have all the necessary medical equipment, including a dental office. Unfortunately, these days, everything is not really rosy aboard the US Ford. According to a recent Pentagon report, it seems that the ship has had disappointing results. Most of the criticism focuses on the electromagnetic aircraft launch system, which was touted as cutting-edge technology for aircraft launching. This system alone cost $3.05 billion. The theoretical advantage is that it would require much less maintenance. However, during sea trials, the electromagnetic catapults only succeeded in an average of 180 launch cycles, far from the expected 4,166 cycles before issues arose. 3 more Ford-class ships have already been announced. So far, the budget amounts to several tens of billions of dollars. In France, it has been reported that the aircraft carrier replacing the Charles de Gaulle will also feature such a catapult. What do you think of this decision? Is it a good idea for France to follow the example of the American US Ford? Share your thoughts in the comments. Unfortunately, we have reached the end of our video. But don't worry, if you enjoyed it, you will have the chance to see many more like it. To do so, all you need to do is first leave a thumbs up under this video. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave comments and suggestions for our next topics. And activate the notification bell to be among the first to see our next video. And we'll see you soon on Dafetesh.